Hi, my name is David Ebsworth and I write novels, historical thrillers. But today I'm talking about more real history. In this case, it's a competition to decide which of Britain's rulers has been the worst persecutor of religious and other beliefs, and how we came to end up in Britain ahead of its time with a Toleration Act. I'm a writer, of course, not a professional historian. So these are my own thumbnail sketches for the subjects I'm chatting about. And being a writer, I thought might make life a bit more difficult for myself by putting these together as what we these days call flash non-fiction. And as if that's not already complicated enough, I've written them in a form of blank verse like this. In 1689, we passed a law, a Toleration Act, to guarantee our right to think and worship as we will, a necessary law to compensate for many centuries of wicked crimes. 400 years since our Edward I required a scapegoat for his misspent reign. The Jews. No logic, just a mass of myths. And so they died in massacres, in flames, in London, and at Clifford's Tower in York. And finally, that hammer of the Scots, the first King Edward, expelled everyone. 1290, and an edict drives them out, away from England's shore to God knows where. 3 centuries go by and Mary's queen, the daughter of our famed Henry VIII, a woman with a literal axe to grind against the newfound faith of Protestants. At least 300 people burned alive in market squares, a public spectacle. That's 60 dead for each year of her reign. Whole families committed to the flames, and for this we call her Bloody Mary still. Reprisal is an awful thing, of course, but then when Mary's sister takes the throne, our good Queen Bess hates Catholics instead, and thus we must all learn to hate them too. 300 seems the number yet again. Through 45 Elizabethan years, burned at the stake and martyrs now to Rome, yet added to her father Henry's score, for Henry burned at least 400 more. But was there not some unifying foe for Protestant and Catholic both to hate? Of course. The wicked hags of children's tales, the women brewing beer in place of men with pointed hats and cauldrons full of ale, and those defying church with healing skills, temerity to worship older gods. So history and church gave them a name, the witches. Yet more fuel to the fires of raw intolerance. Its lists of names, and burned or hanged, it didn't matter much, for 50,000 women paid the price. In Europe, here, 1,000 more were killed, and under good Queen Bess, the Virgin Queen, yes, more died on her watch than other times. Then others in the decades still to come, until it's plain that something must be done. A Toleration Act, first of its kind, protection for minority beliefs, excluding still the Catholics, of course. Though even there, at least the killings stop. Enlightenment of sorts, which later spreads across the continent of Europe's lands. Refined, reformed, and finally repealed, and equal rights for Catholics in the end. Yet here today, intolerance reborn. Our thirst for scapegoats never ends, it seems. But now it's not beliefs or faith per se, though maybe not so different after all. They're victims yet of superstitious lies, these migrants, refugees, who find our shores a safer bet than those they've left behind. And those in power still want us to fear, to blame some innocents for all our ills, instead of blaming them as we should do. In place of tolerance, therefore, new laws, an edict of expulsion, if you like, to send our refugees to God knows where, our modern era's take on wandering Jews. So maybe we'll let history decide the worst of Britain's persecutors then. But never make the error of belief the persecution's ever gone away, and those who see migration as a sin are just the persecutors of today.